Welcome back to Guitar Search Saturdays. It's been quite some time since an episode has been unveiled on the channel. If you do enjoy this series, please give the video the thumbs up. I really appreciate that. This is one of the first episodes shot on the GH5, so hopefully the video quality is second to none, and it should be a step up from anything else in this particular series. Today we're heading out to a music shop located in the suburb of Ormond, right here in Melbourne, Australia. I haven't been in Melbourne Music Centre for at least 10 years, so I'm really looking forward to checking it out and sharing it with you guys. For those who have been following my channel for a long time, you might remember I did a video on the Lowrance 12-inch guitar speaker. This was the shop I actually purchased it from all that time ago. Being that it's been so long since I've actually been in this shop, I was really keen to check it out again for the first time in such a long time. A huge thanks to the owners and staff for allowing me to do this video. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much, guys. The overwhelming majority of the Google reviews are all positive, as you can see on screen. If you want to check them out online, I'll also post some links in the description below. Wintertime is officially here and it was brutally cold outside. It might not look it, but it absolutely was. Let's go in and take a look. Hey, check it out, we're off to a good start, the Laney VC30. I actually had one of these amps a long time ago. These Laney amplifiers are very similar to a Vox AC30 in terms of their actual valve configuration and speaker configuration. The voicing is a little bit different. I would say these might not have quite the top end of the Vox AC30, but some might consider that a good thing. Melbourne Music Centre definitely caters towards the more budget-friendly gear, with the exception of a couple of their amplifiers and pedals. Let's keep having a look around. Here's something I just realized. I see the SX logo over everything, but look at the actual name on the tag, SX. Cool. For those who are unfamiliar with the Strauss brand, it's actually an Australian amp manufacturer going back to around the 1970s. While this is a bass amplifier, they've also made many valve and solid-state amps over the years for electric guitar. And that's when I saw this. Mega amp! It's been quite some time since I've actually run into a Mega amp, or at least shown you one on screen. So here it is. This is the 15 watt Mega amp. I'm still yet to try one of these. I think my goal for 2018, or at least one of them, is to give it a shot. And I'm totally digging the mini Mega amp on its right as well. It is so small. I love how they call them Mega amps. Here's one of the Strauss 15 watt solid state amps. I'm totally digging that blue Tolex. This is a solid state amplifier, but they also do make a selection of valve amps starting at about 5 watts. With the amplifiers out of the way, I thought I'd take a look at the electric guitars and basses as they were hanging up right next to the amps. One of the cool things about the community around the In The Blues channel is you get people of all different backgrounds and all different tastes in gear, whether it's cheap or expensive. I had so many people over the years tell me that SX guitars are actually really good. Unfortunately, the only Lefty I'd seen up until this point was one at Cash Converters, and it was just damaged and ruined. I've had numerous people tell me that they hold their own up against the Squier Classic Vibe series in terms of quality and just playability. So I'm interested to check these out myself. I first saw that American flag from a distance, I thought to myself, oh, maybe they've used US electronics or pickups or something like that. But no, they've actually sourced American swamp ash for the bodies. That's pretty cool. Check out this thin line style Telecaster up close. It definitely looks great. Not only is the wood American swamp ash, but the neck is also Canadian maple. You'd be hard pressed to find a flaw on either of these two Teles. Check them out. Please remain calm. We have our first official Lefty sighting. Welcome back, folks. The Lefty alarm has sounded. While this is just a bass guitar, the great thing about this particular shop is there's plenty of Lefties to choose from. We'll get to those in a moment, and I promise I won't scare you too much with the Lefty alarm. I've been saying this for years that I think Cort acoustics and electric guitars are some of the most underrated musical instruments on the planet. Not only are they inexpensive, they actually sound and play really, really well. The black Strat on its right is actually a Lefty Standard Series SX Electric. Seeing these guitars up close really made me appreciate what a lot of people have been telling me over the years. Check out the headstock finish, even that looks really, really good. The decals look great, and I love the tint on just the actual lacquer as well. I think it looks really cool. This is my kind of shop. There's a couple of different aisles just crammed full of really cool stuff. Let's check it out. This Beatles-inspired bass is actually from a company called Onyx, and this isn't expensive either. This looks like the real deal. Oh yeah, something's just caught my eye. Let's check it out. Believe it or not, these guitars only retail for $269 US or around 315 Australian dollars, which is an absolute bargain considering a classic vibe in Australia is well beyond $700. In terms of what I like in a Telecaster, this ticks a whole lot of boxes, and also being extremely cheap, it would be a great project guitar. I might actually go back and pick one of these up pretty soon and have it as a guitar I can work on and change pickups and do all that kind of stuff for the channel. You really have to see these guitars in person to appreciate not only how great they look, but how they look for their price. Like I said, these are way, way cheaper than a Squier Classic Vibe. Let's see how they sound. This was an absolute pleasure to play. The tuning stability was great. It was tuned by ear, so it might be a little bit out, but that said, the tuning stability was good. So this would be a really cool guitar for me to be able to change pickups in and make some demos about different pickups and how they might compare to each other. Just playing this reminded me a whole lot of my 52 Reissue in terms of feel. It felt absolutely great to play. The guitar you're looking at looks a lot like a Rickenbacker, but it isn't. It's actually a Tokai Rebel Rocker electric guitar. These are very, very hard to come by, and to see one in a Lefty was also very, very surprising. I currently own 2 Tokai guitars, and I've actually owned 4 over the years, and I've never come across one of these in a Lefty anywhere in the world. So props to Melbourne Music Centre for thinking about us southpaws. It's great to see something a little different in a shop. I also love the font on the headstock. They just absolutely nail it. These 2 mini awesome looking electric guitars are actually made by Samick. There's a Les Paul style and a Flying V. Gotta love the Flying V. There's also one other thing in this picture to take note of. Look at the guitar strap behind the V. It's actually like a strip on a mixing console. I dig it. This is the Danelectro 67 Heaven electric guitar. Check out the finish on this thing. It's definitely very, very different. I don't think I've ever seen this particular model in person anywhere ever before. This must be from an older generation of Danelectro guitars because it still has that tape stuff on the side. The Danelectro acoustic guitar is actually one called a convertible. It's essentially an acoustic guitar, but it also has a lipstick pickup right in the center hole. Pretty cool. While these aren't some of the best microphones in the world to use live, they definitely look cool. They'd be a great prop. What you're looking at right now are some of my favorite microphones on the planet. These are JTS microphones. Some of the descriptions actually say clones of other microphones. They're not. They do sound very different. The JTS NX8 is actually my preferred live vocal microphone. Anytime I go to a jam or I do a gig, I always have that in the bag. I also have the JTS NX 8.8 condenser microphone, which is a really great live/studio mic, but I find the NX8 works better for me. Just to frame how the NX8 actually sounds, I would say it would have more bass than a Beta 58 and also more treble than a standard SM58. So if you're looking for something like that, it's definitely a great choice.
That in the very beginning and designed it.
Bob Brad?
Yes, that's
Bob Brad.
Good, thank you.
Look at you, huh? It's great to see an Australian music shop supporting Australian pedals. These are all made by Kink effects pedals here in Melbourne, Australia. This particular one you've definitely seen on my channel. If you haven't seen this particular demo, I'll post a link up in the cards and you can check it out. It's called the Charlie Fuzz. His eyes light up. It actually looks pretty cool. Some of these effects pedals might be a little bit hard to see. The entire cabinet was backlit, which made actually focusing on the pedals a little tough, but I tried my best to get the best angles I could. They had a good selection of new and used effects as well as some vintage stuff, which you'll see in a moment. I I've said this a number of times in the past, but I really believe that the Crossfire Overdrive, also known as the Bellcat Overdrive, might be one of the hidden gems of the Tubescreamer type circuit. Back when these first came out, they were only around $49 or something like that, which is around the same price as the Behringer pedals, at least here in Australia. At the time when these were first out, there wasn't a whole lot of affordable overdrives kicking around. I actually had 2 of these on my board at one time. Up next, we have a selection of retro effects. These are a whole lot more expensive and collectible than anything that you've seen up until this point. Check them out. Melbourne Music Centre isn't actually that big of a shop, but I gotta give them credit. They have so many accessories cramped onto the walls. They have just about every type of cable, every type of lead, everything that you could possibly need for electric guitar is hanging on a couple of these walls. It's insane. They've got way more stuff on their walls than most shops 10 times this size. Here's something I wasn't expecting. Check this out. This whole top row to about halfway down are all left-handed acoustic guitars. The owner was saying that acoustic guitars are outselling electric guitars more often than not, and it was great to see so many lefties on a wall in a shop this size. Great stuff. The majority of the brands, like the electric guitars, were also Cort, Lag, and SX. Out of all the guitars in the shop, this one definitely caught my eye. Yeah, really funny joke. So this is a Cort guitar. It's a Java Evany Acoustic-Electric guitar, and it's loaded with a really great pickup system. Like I said earlier, I think Cort guitars are highly underrated. In Australia, this sells for around $529. For $529, it's an absolute steal when you put it up against other guitars in the market. Here's something else that also makes this shop a little bit different. They actually sell unfinished bodies and necks. I thought this was really cool. If you're looking for a replacement neck or you want a guitar that you can put together and make it your own, it's great to be able to go somewhere locally and just pick them up as opposed to ordering them online. And that wraps up another Guitar Search Saturdays. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane. If you made it this far, please give the video the thumbs up. I really appreciate it. A massive thanks to Melbourne Music Centre for allowing me to come through with my camera and shoot this particular video. If you live in Melbourne or you visit Melbourne, it's definitely worth a shot if you're looking to pick up an instrument that's not going to break the bank. This is a really great little shop, and I'll definitely be heading back there with Dr. Rick to test out that SX Tele again. I want to get some of his thoughts on it, so if we can go in there and film that coming up, I definitely will, so stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for another couple of episodes of Guitar Search Saturday. There's a few more sitting there on my hard drive waiting to be edited. Lastly, a huge thanks to all the Patreon subscribers who help keep the show rolling. I know it's been a while since I've done one, but there are more on the way. These videos do take quite a lot of time to produce. Even just traveling to the shop and back can take some time, let alone all the editing. So thank you so much. If you don't want to help on Patreon, that's totally cool. Feel free just to share the video online. The more people we have watching, the more episodes I'll have coming up. Thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it. My name's Shane. See you on the next one.